Choosing the right projects is just as important as delivering those projects successfully. And with Prism PPM, you can evaluate and prioritize your highest impact projects with a structured intake process for these project requests. For most of our customers, their project planning and lifecycle starts at the request phase, and so they need a way to gather requests from all across their organization and bring a little structure and data into the decision-making of that process. So let's start with where those requests come in. You can create and share multiple different request forms for different types of requests, and these forms can be seen within the application, or they can be shared externally, even for users that are not within Prism. You can customize the fields, make them mandatory, and make sure that you're gathering the right information so that you have the necessary info to make a decision about these requests and evaluate them. As these requests come in, you may have a lot of different requests, and so you need a way to bring a little more structure to this process. For me, I've broken my requests down by which part of my organization or department is making the request, the potential costs associated with that request, the relative priority across my organization, and I also use one really cool tool that we call our business value assessment so that I can compare and contrast different requests with a little more data. Let's click into a request and see what that business value assessment looks like. You can see here that I've created a custom scorecard, and every Prism PPM user can customize this with their own criteria. They can define the different responses available to people making requests, and they can define the relative weight, so that if something like financial impacts is the most important criteria I want to consider, that could be worth 50% of the overall impact or business value, with the other criteria making up the remaining 50%. And this way, I get an objective value that I can use to then compare and contrast different requests so I can make a decision and prioritize the requests that are going to have the biggest impact or highest value to my organization. I can set up an approval process so that I can walk these requests through an approval and evaluation process. And once they're in that process, I can revert back and gather more data, kick it to my backlog, reject entirely, or approve this request. Now, this may actually be something more like a scope change to a project that's already in flight, and so I can easily attach this to an in-flight project without having to re-enter any of my data. Or, if this is genuinely a new request, I can seamlessly transition this into a new project and enter the project planning phase. But with Prism, you can make sure that you're always prioritizing the highest impact projects for your organization. Prism PPM is the project portfolio management solution that successful organizations use to manage their projects more efficiently, ensure alignment with high-level objectives, and mature their PMO practices. Schedule a demo to see more.